Hey dear friends, welcome to Python Learning by Doing. Today I will discuss a bit a topic that I haven't been able to find so much about on YouTube, and that is if you are a software programmer. I program a lot in Python, and now I've made my software, but I want to sell it, and I would like to put it out on different sales platforms. But to do that, the software kind of needs to be wrapped up in a installation package so that people can download this package and they can double click it, and then the whole installation process should start. How do you do that? Uh, and another important topic here is end user license agreement. How do you make that? Because I would like it so that during the installation process, the user is presented with an end user license agreement, also called a EULA, and they have to click accept or a checkbox or something so that they confirm that they have been presented to it and read the end user license agreement and agree to it before they install the software. Let's grab a cup of coffee and then let's just get going. First, let's take a look at what it is we want to achieve. See, what I want is like this icon here called RVCMT. That's my software that I want to install. And I want to take all my project files from that project, and I want to pack them into a compressed file that can then do a self-installation afterwards when people click on it. So when I click this icon, the installation process will start. And you see here, the first thing that happens is that the user is presented to an end user license agreement, an EULA. And the full text there is kind of a legal document that protects your copyrights, and also that you are not liable if people install the program on a computer or on a system and something crashes, that there could be a lot of cost involved with that. You want to make sure you're not liable for that. And a document like this, you can find it on the internet by Googling EULAs, and there are different lawyers that have templates for that, and you can kind of piece it together until you have it the way you want it. And here it will say, by clicking accept, you accept the agreement below. So they have to read this, and then if they say accept, now they have accepted the agreement. What they do get is they don't buy the software. You as a programmer, you still own all the rights to the software and the code. So they don't buy the software. What they buy is actually a license to use your software. That's important. And that is what it gets clearly stated here. When people click accept, they will go to a next screen here, and here you can put some other comments in if you want. And I have said important after installation, and that is if sometimes you see that when a software installs, the exe files included in the software will get caught by the antivirus scan software, and now they would be put into a vault. So what I say here is if that happens, then point 1, restore the quarantine file from the antivirus software, and point 2, add the main exe file to the list of trusted files in the antivirus software. So that's always a good thing to do. But else you can click put extract here, say yes, and now you can see the software. Oh, I had done it twice here. And you can see here is now my icon for the software I have just installed. It sits down here. The user for your software can now store a copy on a CD drive or something externally, a USB sticker or something like that, so that they have a copy of the installation file if they later need to reinstall it. But I also took the time to create a nice ICO file for the icon, so that the software, when it installs, it comes with a nice icon for it. And if I double click it now, my software should start up. And it does. I will now try to show you how you can use compression software to make this self-extracting installation file like we've just seen. What I use is a software called WinRAR, and I would say it's okay. I have seen it crash a few times. Sometimes when you take a whole project, a Python program with all its project files, and you compress it, then when it's all unpacked and everything and you click install, I have seen that a few times, that then it doesn't work. And what you need to do is simply do it again, do the process again, and then it works. So it's a little bit unstable. I have experienced that WinRAR, but I still use it. It's free, and it's easy to use. The first thing I need to do when I have finished programming my software is that I need to go here to my editor. I work in PyCharm, and you can see all my files here for the projects are sitting here, and here's the opening page called main.py. But the first thing I need is to make all this that is Python files. I need to convert them to something that is executable on a PC. And to do that, I use this software here, and you might have to install it if you don't have it already. But to get to it, I need to go to my CMD. And that was wrong, because I need it in administrator mode here. And here I have a command prompt. And here I write auto dash and then py dash to dash exe. Autopy dot exe, and I have a spelling error. So if you don't have this autopy to exe installed, then you need to run a pip install to get that software installed. But when I run this one, I get this window up here. The first thing the window here asks for is the script location. And the script location is basically the startup file in your program. And in my case, it's called main.py. So I need to browse and find that one. And you can see here I have the location of my PyCharm project, RV cost tracker. And here amongst all my Python files, I have the main.py. That is my opening page for the software, the main page. So I say open here. Then it asks if I want to use one directory or one file. See, one file I would only use if it's a small project where you have one Python file. If you have more than that, if you have several files in your project with independent or with interdependencies, then you want to use one directory, so you get the dependencies between the files copied over as well. Then it's whether you want to use console, that's a DOS prompt, or window when you execute your program. I want it to run window-based. Then it asks for the icon file. And before you do this here, it's important that you consider if you want an icon for your program. If you do, you have to design an ICO file. And I've done that. So I will browse and go here and select this icon.ico file that I have made. Then it wants all additional files. And all additional files, that's the rest of the files for my project. And you can see I start kind of here with some CSV files. That's because my software stores data in CSV files. So I will need all the CSV files. And I will basically go all the way down here to this resource file.qcr. All the UI files, that's my files for designing the user interface in Qt Designer, but they are not part of the finalized program. They are already imported into the Py files. So this here is basically what I need. And then I can deselect a few here that I won't use. I have this one there, and I also have this. These are some design files for icons that I won't use. Nope. And now I should be good. Then I can simply say open here. And you can now see how all the additional files here, they were added to my project. Advanced setting, you don't need to set anything under for doing this task here, but you need to go to settings, not advanced. And in advanced, we have to define the output directory. Where do you want this here to be installed? And I will go here to my C drive and choose program files. And under program files, I wanted later to create a subfolder called RV Cost and Maintenance Tracker. But I just select folder for now because I don't have that subfolder yet. But I will just add it here. So I will say slash and then RV CMT for RV Cost and Maintenance Tracker. So that's my folder under programs files. That's where I want the program to install to. And now we're ready. Now we can say convert to Py or to exe, Py to exe. And then you can see it starts executing. The program here will run for a little while. And when it has completed making the executable program, you can choose Open Output folder here in the bottom. And you will now see down here under Program Files on the C drive, I now have a folder here called RVCMT. If I double click it, there is a folder called Main. And in there I have all the files for my program, but now with an executable file. And if I double click that file, my program will start up. And here you go. The whole software is now made in a format where it's executable, but you can't distribute the software in this condition here with all these folders and files here. You can see there's a lot of files included in this. So I kind of need to take all this here, and now I need to wrap it in a nice package that can be downloaded as one file, and then it can install itself to the right directory and present the EULA and all that as well. And that's the next step. And for that, we will use the WinRAR software. And from my programs here, I will choose the WinRAR and get that opened only in one example here. And first we need to navigate to the folder where we have all the program files we just created with the AutoPy to exe process we did before. And I will navigate here, and you can see here I have my RV cost tracker. And if I go into that one, and let me see, is it the right one? No, it's not. So I need to go all the way back here to my C drive, and it's under program files. And here I called it RVCMT. So there is my folder for the program, the main, that contains all the files. But I go one step back, and I want to stand here in the main because I want everything included. And I say add as the first step. Then this window here comes up. And the first thing you want to enter here in the main window, that is the name of the installation file that you create. So that's actually the file that people will download for installation. So the installation file, and I will call it RVCMT, and then we can call it installation. Installation file. Then it's clear what it is. All the other panes here, you don't need to fill anything into yet. But what we need to do is we want to create not just a compressed zip file. We need to make it a self-extracting file. So you need to mark this one here. Create SFX archive. That's a self-extracting file. And the properties for the SFX files get set here under Advanced and under SFX Options. And here the first thing it will ask is, what is the path you want to extract to? And the path I can copy here from my Explorer window. It's here. It's Windows C, Program Files, RVCMT. That's where I want to extract to. So I right-click that and say Copy Address. And then I paste that into here. That's the absolute path to where I want to install the program. Then we have some other panes here that we don't use. Setup, nothing here. Modes, nothing here. Advanced, here we need to enter some data. And that is the data about the shortcut. Because I would like so that when people have installed the software, it puts an icon out on the desktop, a shortcut, and it needs to have the right logo and everything. So that we set up here under Add Shortcut. The first thing I need to decide is where to put it. Desktop, Start menu, or in the Startup. I want it out on the desktop, so that when we are finished installing, there is an icon on the desktop for the program. Then it wants the source file name. And here again, we can start copying the path we had from before. That's the path to where we install the whole thing to. But then I need to go to main, and then I need to write, it's the main.exe file. So that's where my main file for the program is, main.exe. Destination folder I leave empty. If I put anything in there, then it will create a subfolder out on the desktop where it will place the icon in. I don't want that. I want the icon directly on the desktop. Then we have shortcut description. And shortcut description and shortcut name. That is basically, the shortcut name is what stands underneath the shortcut. And the shortcut description is when you hover your mouse over the logo, it will pull up a little white bar that gives a description of the shortcut. So here we can just write RV cost and maintenance tracker. And that we can copy. I want the same to be the name of the shortcut. For shortcut icon, I also in my whole package there had an icon, so I can copy that path here. And I can just replace main exe with icon.ico. And how to create an icon, an ICO file, that's a whole other topic I will cover in another video. But it needs to be an ICO file for the icon. It can't be a JPEG or PNG or something like that. It has to be an ICO file. So that's done now, and we say OK to that. The next here is we have to go up and then we have covered the bottom row here. Now we go up to the next row here. So under module we put nothing, but under license we do. License, this is very important because here is where we can present the end user license agreement to the user of the software. So that's where we put all our terms and conditions. And I simply have them in a file. So I have made like an open office file where I can just copy it from every time I need it. So I click the header here and I put that in there. And then all the text in my license file, I will copy that as well. And I will paste that into here. So now I have my EULA, the end user license agreement. It's all pasted here. And then it simply says by clicking accept, you accept the agreement below. And here comes all the terms and conditions. So when people install, they will be met by that prompt. They have to read that and then click accept if they can accept it. Then in the installation, as you saw in the beginning, I had one page more when I can put some additional comments in with regards to the installation process. And I like to put something in about what if it gets blocked by the virus program, the antivirus program. What do you do then? So I have a little text about that prepared as well. And I'll grab this text here and put it into that. And I'll paste that there. And then I'll just say important. And now we basically have everything we need for making a nice package, an installation package that is self-extracting. So I click OK, and then we say yes. And now it's done. Now I go back to my file browser and to my project file here, rvcmt. And if I double click that one, you can now see I have a file here, rvcmt installation file.exe. That's the file that can install the software and that can be downloaded by customers. So this one I will now copy. I'll cut it and paste it to my desktop. And when that is done, I need to delete this entire project file here because we want to see if the installation works. You remember in the beginning when we did the auto py to exe, we created this folder here. But to see if my installation file works, I need to delete that one. So I'll simply delete it, so that it's not already there. And now I have my installation file here. And that's how the file will look when people have downloaded it from the internet, from a sales site. And now you should be able to double click that one and see the installation run. And the first thing we see here is we get this here by clicking accept. You accept the agreement below. And here is the entire end user license agreement. It's on the screen right here. And people have to say accept to that before they continue. So now we are sure they have been presented to it. Here we have the tips and tricks about what if it gets caught by the antivirus software on the computer. What can you do then to retrieve your program files after installation? And then we say extract. And now the installation runs. And you can see immediately down here in this file, we got the right logo and everything because we pointed to the ICO file. And by double clicking this icon here, our software will run. And it's now ready to be used, and you can go in and use all the different features in the software. It's all ready. I hope you really enjoyed this video here from Python Learning by Doing. If you did, and if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe buttons so that we can continue to make more videos like this. That would help me out a lot. So thank you in advance. Also check out the links here on the screen. There will be links to other videos from Python Learning by Doing. And I can promise you there will be a lot of good tips and tricks for how to improve your programming skills. Thank you for watching.